meeting to order. Monday, June 15th, 2026. Officially, we're beginning at, what are we, 4:08 p.m. Rich West, Board President. Teresa, would you identify yourself?
Teresa Olson, board member.
Lynn
Most
Hobbs,
important
board member.
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan Marchant, business manager.
Alex Garrett, vice principal.
Jill Lowe, principal.
All right, here we go. Item number 1. Ryan, actually, you get the next.
Forever.
Ryan, you get the next 6 items.
Lucky me.
So, do you have a cup of water to refresh yourself? Or are you just going to keep going?
I thought we would just roll it all into one motion and vote on it.
Okay.
Call it a night. We could almost actually probably do that, but I'll be brief here. So Lynn and I met prior to this meeting in our audit committee meeting, and that's kind of an ongoing thing. We've kind of reviewed this. The financials look good. We've had another successful year. We won't go into this. Maybe just go down to Alex, let's just go down to the charts page real quick. I think that's probably the best place to go, just to kind of hit some of the highlights. You can see our cash position went down. That's because we put $500,000 on our note. Then we also picked up 3 Ford Expeditions. They were about $180,000. We'll talk about that in a minute and try and get board approval or ratification of that movement. Headcounts steady. That's what it was in May. I don't think it's moved much from there. Maybe Alex could give a little bit of color on what our current headcount is, but I think it's strong. Is that sufficient to say, guys?
Yeah, we have a pretty healthy wait list that they've sent
Invites
to for fall. So I think they sent out about 70 invites to registration for fall. So that's pretty good for this time of the year, and we get a ton of walk-ins during registration as well.
Yeah, that's great. So the headcount strong, and then you can just scroll down. This is the kind of the nuts and bolts behind the financials. I just encourage you to always look at these numbers, and then the balance sheet, the income statement, then kind of the P&L by class. So anyway, I think everybody's had a chance to kind of review this information. At least I hope you have. If not, we're always available there. You can see our cash position is very healthy. The only liability that we have is our facility, and that's about $1 million. So again, business as usual for Fast Forward, doing really well. I think we've got another successful year. And in fact, we'll be adding to that number in June when we put in all of our accruals. So yeah, great year for Fast Forward on the financials. I think Jill and Alex and team are doing a phenomenal job. So any questions on the financials?
No.
That doesn't require a vote.
Good.
That's just for FYI. We'll also post this on our website. I think Alex has already done that. Okay, next item. What's our next item?
Oh, now I have to go. Oh, it's over here too.
Oh, the FY26 final budget. Okay, let's pull that up. So this is kind of as usual. What you're looking at is basically what we just reviewed, the financial statement. So if you want to go down to the very last page, Alex, this is essentially what we just reviewed. You can see what our net income is, $724,142. That ties exactly to the financial statement that you just reviewed. We did overspend, so this is why we're coming back to the board as we always do, for a final budget, so that we're in compliance with the law as far as not having spent money that we didn't actually bring to the board for approval. So we always are probably a little bit over what we've actually spent, just to give us a little bit of margin of error. But that's kind of why we come back, just to kind of redo a final budget. So you can see the total expense through May was $5,484,000 essentially. Then you add in June payroll of $350, July and August payroll $700, June operating expenses of essentially $125,000, then depreciation of $200,000. That gets you to $6.8 million. So some of that's cash, some of it's not. Like obviously the June and July payroll or the July and August payroll, that's not going to come out of this year's cash. That'll come out of next year. But if fast forward was ever, if let's say we stopped existing as an entity as of June 30th, 2026, we would have to carry that July and August payroll, 700,000. We'd have to come up with money somewhere, right? But that's just money that we have to show as an expense in this year, but we don't actually have to pay for it. So, and then depreciation is just the depreciation of our asset, our building, essentially. Even though it's practically paid for, we do still depreciate it on a 40-line straight line depreciation basis. So we're still depreciating our asset. So that's why we've got the $200,000 in there. We've got to account for that $200,000 of depreciation. So total FY26 budget is $6,859,607. Any questions on how we got to that number?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that an accountant with your background does with this budget what I do with my budget at home. I overspend.
We're good at
And
it.
and I go to my board of trustees. Well, I actually only have one. And she said, "You're under deposited, buddy."
Yep,
But
we're
but
all
we work it out just the same way you do.
good. Yeah, I'm glad you work it out. And it seems to be, that's how a lot of people operate. I know I do in my personal life. Obviously, our government functions on that same, except they never have to pass a budget. So they just spend and never even have to come back and pass a budget. So they've kind of even got it figured out better. They can just do it and not even have to worry about passing a budget. So
They just
we don't
print
live in that
more,
world. We
print
actually
more.
have to pass it. We actually have to pass a budget. So anyway, for the board, and we do have I guess we've got 3 out of the 5 members, so we do have a quorum. That would be the proposal for this final FY26 budget is $6,859,607.
And I would entertain a motion. It would be really nice if it came from the chair of our audit committee.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the final budget for the year of 25-26 of $6,859,607.
Oh, I love the sound of it. Is that second?
I will second the motion.
Teresa, thank you. We'll call the question. Those in favor say aye.
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 I think that's everyone.
Yep.
I don't think we need an opposing vote since I heard everybody. All right. So now we get to move on to the next budget.
Yes, our 2027 budget. You'll see that we are in line to receive about $7,000 in state funding for the FY27 budget, which is about 636 ADM, which is really good. Then you throw in some of the other Title I's, the IDEA, things like that. You get about a $7.18 million budget. So that's our total revenue sources that we'll be working with this next year, which is great. I mean, the legislature's been good to us over the years, and a lot of our costs have remained fixed, except for salaries, but facilities wise. But yeah, I mean, our budget has grown significantly over the years. So we do have a good budget. You can see below that line items, and I'm always conflicted. I know we talk about this every year, showing what people make, and I always tend to err on maybe the side of caution as far as just more disclosure to the board. But anyway, these are confidential things. But again, we're in a public meeting. Anybody could come and view this stuff. And the truth is anybody can look at it anyway, because we have to upload it to transparency. So you can find all these numbers are online if you really want to look at it. But anyway, we gave everybody nice raises this last year just to kind of keep in line with the increases in wages. Alex, if you want to scroll down to the second page, again, you can see the staff and kind of, again, individual people, what they're making. That's the vast majority of where our money goes, is to wages at this point. And I've always said in my mind, it would be the perfect scenario is where we always talk about giving teachers raises and stuff, but you're so conflicted because you have all of these building and other big expenses. A lot of schools get a lot heavy on facility, and it's just never seems to make it to the kids or to the educators that are providing the education. And I firmly believe that when you put money into teachers, you're putting money into kids. And I think that's kind of what Fast Forward's doing is just that. And so we have a long tenured staff. Like I think our staff is very happy when Jill meets with them and when I meet with them. I mean, they're exceptionally proud to be at Fast Forward and they're really happy. And but they also want to be paid, what market rates are, and we're able to do that. And so I think it's fantastic that we can have such a robust staff and pay them what they deserve. Uh, so that's the first part of the spreadsheet there. You can see the second part kind of leading down to what the some of the well, you want to go back up real quick, Alex. So you can just see the low second page. There you go. You can see the load that we have. I mean, health insurance is a big deal. $420,000 there. That's a big number. And we're hoping to kind of mitigate some of that by not having a huge increase this next year. And then also we do state retirement fund, which is another also big number. So between wage and benefits, it's probably 80% of our budget. Then below that, you can kind of see the different line items that we have with the different contracts and some of the accounting services, legal fees, supplies, stuff like that. So you get down to the final page and you can see there that we have about $5,645,000 of expense prior to paying our mortgage. So once you throw in, I mean, our mortgage is only 2% of our revenues. It's almost immaterial, but it's our mortgage payment for 12 months is 159,000. Our net income loss is 1.374. So our total FY26 budget or 27 budget is 5,805,000. So, well, no doubt we'll come back and we'll probably add to that because it looks like we've got essentially a net positive of about $1.3 million. One other thing I do want to point out in wage, if you want to go up to this, Alex, to the first page, I think it is. Maybe it's the second. I think it's the second. We haven't done this in the past, but this year for the Christmas bonus, I wanted to just put that in there. You can see I wanted the board to be aware of what we do there, and so it'll be $1,800 for full time and $900 for part time, and I think that's kind of pretty close to what the district's been doing too. So anyway, just wanted to throw that in there so the board had the chance to approve that and see that, and we could just go ahead and approve that and not have to worry about it. So anyway, and then the last page is just what our revenue is, estimated revenue from the state, just kind of the worksheet that we kind of work off of. And you can kind of see with the revenue, how that revenue number ties to our spreadsheet there. So the 7,016,000. So any questions? I hope you've had a chance to maybe review it the last day or so. Certainly willing to answer any questions, trying to be open and transparent, but also trying to make a budget work for the school, and then also trying to be efficient with, I think what our duty is to make sure that public dollars are spent in public ed in an efficient way. So I think that this budget accomplishes that with the ability to actually go and think through some things this year that maybe we just didn't have enough time to think about, and maybe add some additional things that would be beneficial for our students. We don't know what that is at this point, but we'll certainly come back to the board if we come up with those things and say, look, we've got some extra money hanging around. Let's deploy some of that again to the benefit of some of the students. So any questions?
Ryan, this seems pretty close to previous years.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything that you think is unusual, that is and anything that is a significant departure really from previous years?
the biggest thing that I've noticed over the years is our two big expense items, the wages and the benefits have gone up. Not necessarily not necessarily state retirement because the stock market's been doing so well that we haven't had an increase in the state retirement actually in quite some time. But the downside is that our health benefits have gone up substantially. Like last year, we had a 27% increase, which is a pretty big number. And then, of course, our funding has gone up significantly, which is great. I mean, over the years it has too, but also our wages have gone up a lot, and that's just kind of where the market is, and being competitive with the surrounding districts and with retaining the teachers that we have. A lot of our teachers again have been with us for a long time, and then have an administrative staff. And Jill and Alex, you could make the argument that we would need to go hire at least a couple more people with what we're doing with them. And so kind of the theory there is, look, they're doing a lot of different things, and they were doing some of this extra duty contract stuff. And we kind of just said this year, look, instead of having extra duty contracts, let's just pay you what the market rate would be for all of these things, knowing that you're probably doing the job of a couple different people. But if you feel, and we feel like we can handle it, and we feel like we can still be efficient, then let's put the wage where it needs to be. And then let's kind of maybe put some of that money below the line if we have extra money into staffing as well. So the idea is not to get heavy burden on the admin side, even though we do have great administrators. They're very capable. So the theory is pay them a little bit more perhaps, and then put some of the extra money into the classroom as well. So that's maybe a little bit. Those are probably the main things that I've noticed, Rich, is just kind of the wages going up, and then a lot of the stuff that kind of below the wage line, it's kind of pretty much been pretty stable. I mean, there has been some increases in there, and there's always increases that go into that every year. But those are the significant areas where we spend our money every year. It's just kind of those main things. We're not really much out of that box. Utilities is a big one, but that goes up a little bit, but not as much as like our health insurance or our wages have over the years. And of course, our building's fixed, so there's that
Yeah.
just is kind of stable.
Sounds good. Well, a motion if anyone is inclined.
I'll make a motion to accept the preliminary budget for 26-27 that we've just reviewed.
Thank you, Teresa. Second?
I'll second that.
And Lynn, thank you very much. Any further questions on the motion? Those in favor, say aye.
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 Since we all said aye, I guess there's nobody left to say, can't vote twice, right?
No, not
See,
allowed.
oh, you just said no. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you, everyone. It's always fun to come. I've said this before, it's fun to come to these meetings because everything is handled so well. It makes it really easy for board members.
Does.
But
It's a lot of work to figure out all of that.
it,
Good
Ryan's our
job,
man.
Ryan.
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
wonderful. All right, Ryan, let's go to item number 4,
Yeah,
the governing
let's do it.
board training review.
Yep.
This sounds
This
like
is
we're-
in directly related to R277-113-4, and it's basically the LEA audit responsibilities. Essentially, what we need to do is just kind of go through these annually with the board, just to let them know what their responsibilities are and kind of what we're doing there. So I think our board's seasoned enough that we've done all of these. So let me just say that our responsibilities are that we have obviously a governing board. So we have an audit committee that functions. Lynn and I serve on that. And as we talked about prior to coming on here, I think Lynn's willing to serve another year, and we're certainly willing to have another board member if they would love to come on. We don't have an internal audit function committee just because we're so small, but we do use the state internal audit department. So we have it on our website, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alex or Jill, but we do have a link to the state internal audit department. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah, so
should.
there's one on our LEA side, and then part of one of the policies we'll do is like, it explicitly says in the policy too, coming up, so.
Yeah. And then this just explains what the audit what our audit committee does. So if you want to go to the second page, Alex, this is kind of what we do.
Oh,
Lynn and I'll handle the audit, working with the external auditors, make sure that everything's that they have is for them to review and to look over and engage. And then we use Squire and Company as our external auditor, which is that we've been with them for a long time, and they do probably the vast majority of charter schools and a lot of the districts too. So they're good. And then Lynn and I will review the audit. If there's any problems with the audit, then of course we'll start with the audit committee and then we'll go from there. But Lynn and I will then, once the audit's published, we'll review it and then we'll present it to the board. So it's coming up on audit time again. So we'll probably have our audit sometime in September for the FY26 year. So that's coming up. But just want to let you know that we do have an audit committee meeting where our committee, we do meet on a fairly regular basis. And Lynn has a lot of experience serving on various school boards, so he's well represented for the Fast Forward board. At least in my opinion, he does great. And he reviews all the information, and then we're able to bring it to the board for you guys, having know that it's been gone through the audit committee. Um, so we just need to review that. That's just actually part of the audit testing, but also just something that we need to do annually. So I guess we can probably move on to the next one, which is actually the audit committee. Yeah, this is the 53G7-401. And this is basically, we just need to, I need to let you know what our internal audit function is, which we talked about. We use the State Office of Education, but then we also have to have an election for our audit committee. So I'll let the board discuss that. I think the proposal from my side, and again, board can make their own proposal, but maybe, and Lynn and I talked about this, but Lynn and I stay on it. And then if you want to put another board member on it, you certainly can. But I'll kind of turn that over to you guys to see what you want to do. Lynn, do you want to
Lynn?
talk about that?
I would just say one thing. Since Ryan and I have been meeting a half an hour before our regular meeting, it's really good because, he sends me the stuff, all of the information ahead of time. I have plenty of time to go through it and look at it. And if I have any concerns at all, and Ryan and I discuss it, and I think it's really worked well since we've been doing this half an hour before every board meeting. It's really very much advantageous in my feelings.
Lynn, do
So,
you have any recommendations about how we move forward? Are you
well,
comfortable with the way things are?
I've been comfortable. It's just if the rest of the board, if somebody wants to go on, I know it's, Ryan gives me full reign to go over everything and share any concerns that I have whatsoever, or any pluses or minuses. And so it's I think we've been very successful. I know there for a while we weren't meeting very often, and it got frustrating, I think, to Ryan and to myself. But since we've went to this format, I feel like it's better than even when I was on Logan City School Board. It's on the audit committee. It was just, this is really great. That's my feeling. So,
Well, is there anyone on the board who sees a need for changing what we're doing?
I do not. I'm happy with the way Ryan and Lynn manage it.
That sounds almost like a motion.
Oh, I would, I would make that motion to retain our auditing committee that we have in place right now with Ryan and Lynn.
Well, I'm going to second that. And so we have moved and seconded. And the motion is that we retain the audit committee as presently constituted. Are there any further questions or comments? Those in favor say aye.
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 Once again, unanimous. All right, another year. Way to
Another
go.
year.
Hey,
Well,
Congratulations.
thank you. And thank you,
Yeah.
Lynn, for your willingness
Congrats,
to,
Lynn.
thanks,
And
Lynn, for your willingness to do that.
We forgot to include a salary increase for the members of the audit committee.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
Well-
one. That's the biggest number.
I think, I feel like I don't need a raise. I'm just fine the way it is, so.
I was
you.
going to propose that we double what you're getting.
Well, that's fine. That'll be all right.
It still won't have any impact on the budget.
I'll second that motion.
There we go. All right, Ryan, item
Thank
number
you.
6.
Okay. So, and I'll let Jill talk about this for a minute too, but we just need to ratify this by the board. Our procurement policy dictates that if we make a purchase over $50,000, which these were, we need to come and we did do an RFP, but then we just need to ratify this with the board. And so this action's already occurred, but I think once you've realized what we've done and the reason that we've done it, then you'll probably won't have any problem ratifying that. So Jill, do you want to take a minute and Alex just talk about what we've done?
Yeah. So for the last couple of years, we've had some vehicles at the school for field trips and excursions off campus. They were good and we took pretty good care of them, but we have a every Friday we do off-campus trips and getaways and I don't know what else to call it for credit recovery opportunities for our kids. And we never have quite enough cars. And so currently we've had staff using their own vehicles. Some of our older vehicles that we had from the school on the school side of things, they didn't have air conditioning or heat. And so we decided we needed to look for some new vehicles and a little more room so we could take all the kids that wanted to be a part of this. So we went to Ryan and decided to look into some bigger and better vehicles that would fit as many kids as the state would allow. So our CTE department purchased one of our excursions, and then we bought 2 more for the rest of the school.
Are these lease returns? Or
I don't think so, Ryan, are they?
You mean on our side, are we
Yeah.
leasing them, or on
They're
our
not
side
lease
we
returns.
purchased them?
no, you
They might have
purchased-
been lease return when they were used.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
slightly used, right, Jill?
Yeah, they're a couple years old, but they're in good condition and seat 8.
So these excursions or expeditions?
They're the Expedition Maxes, so just like
Thank
the
you,
newest,
yeah.
they don't make excursions
They're like
anymore, but
Suburbans.
they're the same thing.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
It's just the
Yeah.
Expedition.
State, I mean, look, you could fry this fish maybe a few different ways, but I think the easiest way without having to get everybody qualified to drive a bus, which is tedious and it takes a lot of training and everything like that. The best way to do it, if you're not going to go through that process to buy a bus and then get as many drivers as you can trained on it, you're kind of limited on the size of the vehicle that you can do, meaning there can be no more than 10 people inside of a vehicle. It can't be extended, and that 10 people includes the driver. So really you can put nine in there plus a driver. And these fit that. These fit within the scope of what the insurance will cover. This, as far as being safe with what we're going to be driving around kids. And so they have a good safety record. We did need some, as Jill explained, we did need some more options for students. We have the money to do it, to transport them and to get them around. And so we felt that this was probably the best way to do that. Again, we could have done it several different ways, but we kind of just kept running into the roadblock of, well, how many teachers are willing to go get their bus driver's permit? And that's a pretty big wall to climb in a lot of cases. So we just kind of went this way, and then everybody can drive it as long as they've been approved and they've taken the safety video and they've got a good driving record. So
So you
Um,
don't need a CDL for
No.
this?
No,
no.
it's a family car.
Oh,
Of course it is.
We do take like a course through
Defensive
risk management.
driving.
Yeah, defensive driving course.
Yeah.
Everybody that drives it has to take that. But
Yeah, they have to take a defensive driving course through the state risk management, but then they can drive it as long as they've got a valid driver's license. They don't have to have a CDL. But to get the bus drivers, you have to get the CDL, then you have to get a bus driver's endorsement, and it can take a significant amount of time to do that. So again, this is kind of why we decided to go down this road. We did purchase one with CTE funds, so it'll be used exclusively by the CTE department. They do a lot of trips, kind of when we dug into how much they were leaving and doing stuff, which is really cool. So the CTE will do it. And they have quite a bit of funds that they can tap into to purchase one of these vehicles. So the total for all three was about 181,000, I think is what it was. Let me double check that in the
Are they new or used?
You're used.
but they're 2024s, I believe. So they're
Low mileage?
Yeah.
Low mileage?
less than 25,000, I think, on
Oh,
all
good.
three. So
We-
our old Excursion was almost up to 200, I think.
Had good air conditioning and heat.
It was a 2004. So
Wow.
the new ones are.
And our old lunch
Pretty
van is like a
nice.
1990 something.
It's
Wow.
but it works good for them.
Yeah, yeah.
They were about
Of those old ones? Hmm.
Well, not the excursion.
they
traded
were about
that.
60,000 a piece is what they were. We
Yeah.
bought three of them, so it was 181,000.
That's good.
Where'd you get them?
Up in Idaho, courtesy Ford.
Good.
We kind of shopped around the valley here and took a few to the mechanic, and they weren't in that good a condition. So for about the same price. So
So in our budget, we have a gas fund,
Uh-huh.
we have
yeah,
maintenance fund. for
Uh-huh.
this? Okay.
And Kristen stays really good on top of maintaining the
maintenance,
fleet,
yeah.
like
Good.
that. So,
It's a good thing.
and our hope is with the new vehicles, the upkeep of the things not working will be less.
Yes.
Do we have to put any signage on I don't know if we have to put any signage on that, do we? I don't think we do.
No, Kristen's worked that out with the state or the
Yeah, I didn't think we
the
had to. I mean, a
motor
bus you would
vehicle.
have to, but not with these. Okay.
We get EX plates?
We did with our last one, but they didn't make us do it with these ones. So I'm not sure why, but she's been dealing with the DMV or the motor vehicle registration unit, and I don't know. It was kind of some back and forth, but
But they are vanity. It's Phoenix 6 is the white one, Phoenix 7 is the black
is it
one,
really
and Phoenix 8 will be.
our
Nice.
plates?
Yeah, so
That's
That's pretty
good.
I didn't know
Good.
that. That's awesome.
Very
Great.
nice,
Okay.
very nice. Well, do I hear a motion to ratify the purchase of these three vehicles?
I'll make a motion that we ratify the buying of these three vehicles for our school.
And I will second the motion.
Thank you very much. Moved and seconded. Any further question? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous once again. All right, thank you all very much. Jill Lowe,
Well,
bullying policy,
this is going to be fun.
etc.
The state, the legislature just finished their session, a little couple months ago, and the state would send out a model policy, which this bullying policy mimics. It's the exact same thing the state wants from us. So all LEAs have to put this into effect. This is a policy. I'm not really going to go through it. I don't think it's much different than the bullying policy we already have. So it's not that different from what we've already approved a couple of years ago. So
Is this essentially the state's recommended bullying policy on our letterhead?
correct. That's exactly what it is. Exactly.
All
So-
right.
Yep.
Well, doesn't leave us a lot of room, does it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Neither do any of the following policies to come. So,
Do you have any concerns about this?
um, we did have Alex and I had a few concerns about we did change, I think, one thing in it that we felt like as we compared it to the law, we had a little bit of room to wiggle. And it was basically where bullying takes place. And because we don't provide we do provide transportation for our kids during certain times, but on the way to school is not one of those things. And so they talked a little bit about kids being transported to school. So we tweaked number 2 a little bit so it takes place while students are being transported through school provided vehicles to or from school or school sponsored activities. The original one says students being transported to school, which, because we don't have transportation for students, didn't necessarily apply to us. We do have some incidences on the city bus, that actually it's not Logan City, isn't it? The county
Yeah,
county
sheriff
sheriff has an officer that oversees the bus. So if we do have problems on the bus, we work really closely with the county to get those cleared up. So, and it's hard for me to discipline kids for things they do at the bus stop or actually on the bus. We usually just let
Yes.
the legal things take care of that, and it's worked out. Okay, so that's the only thing we've changed.
Well, typically, schools have responsibility for students as soon as they are under the school's authority or responsibility.
Right.
And being on a city bus doesn't qualify.
No,
your
it doesn't.
responsibility.
Any more than if they were walking to school
or in their parents' vehicle
or in their parents. Yeah.
That's how we
So
felt.
I think it was an appropriate change.
I do too.
Yep. So that was kind of the only thing we changed in it. Other than that, it's pretty identical to the state model policy. So anyway, do we want to do one at a time on these? Vote one at a time? Or do you want to go through them all?
Well, let me ask the big, you're talking about, because then we've got the ethics policy and all of the rest of it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
There's 4.
Let me ask one question. Are there any differences from other than the one that you just mentioned regarding transportation?
Nope.
Are we simply taking the state's statement, putting it on our letterhead?
Yep. Everything's mirrored to the state's model policy that they would like us to adopt. So
Well, be honest, it's more than they would like us to adopt.
Yep. We're gonna have to.
They require us to adopt these,
Correct.
right?
Yes, correct.
Statute.
Yep.
So I would be happy. I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but it seems to me under those circumstances, if you run us through those, hit the high points, especially if there are any departures, as you did on the bullying policy, any departures from what the state imposed. Otherwise, what we're doing is saying, well, okay, we are now in compliance with the state imposed policies.
Correct. Correct.
Any of you want any more information on any of these policies? We have them in front of us. We've all received them.
Yep. I think we just ought to do it as one lump thing myself.
And this includes the reasonable force
Yes.
statement as well, right?
Yep.
That was included later.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yes. Anybody?
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve this complete bullying I guess I would call it just to complete the bullying policy with all the other things, including the small change that was made by Jill and Alex that we accepted.
And let me just make a friendly amendment that we include all of the remaining
Yes,
policies that were included in this bundle. LEA relationship to activities involving
yeah,
educators policy, restriction and seclusion policy,
And the complaint hotline policy.
and reasonable, or I guess that reasonable force, that's the seclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mixed.
yeah.
Yes, reasonable force is the seclusion, and the LEA relationships is the ethics one. It's just discussing like teachers who do tutoring or have businesses outside of school, they can't
And
advertise
advertise.
students. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I didn't do a great job of lining the titles up, so I
Eh,
apologize.
it's
for that.
okay. We have the policies in front of us. We've had access to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lynn, will you accept that
You
friendly?
bet, 100%.
All right.
And I will make a motion to second that.
And Teresa has offered a second to that. Any additional questions, concerns expressed, anything? Those in favor of the motion say aye.
I.
Aye. Unanimous. Okay. All right. Item number 8, Alex Garrett.
So this is more just for your information. So we have to make the board aware when we, as like a sex ed curriculum committee, we have 5 parents that participate, plus myself, Martha Garrity, and our school nurse, and Josiah, who is the health teacher.
Martha's the counselor.
Yes. So we meet annually to just review the sex ed curriculum, make sure it's up to the same state standards and all the code and regulations that they dictate we follow. Part of that is also approving any guest speakers, and through our partnership with CAPSA, there's a couple of guest speakers that come in from there. We have that available if you guys would like to review it as well, but our committee has gone through and approved it, and so this is just us letting you guys know that we've done that.
Is this part of a health class?
Yeah, so that gets taught in Josiah's health classes, as well as there's a little bit of specific curriculum that Shandy teaches in her individual and family relationships class. It doesn't go into the same depth as the sex ed portion of health, but there is just talking about relationships, and so that goes before the committee as well. So,
Okay.
And parents get that in the syllabus at the beginning of the term.
yeah.
Good.
Sign off on.
Okay.
Good. Okay,
All right. Well, thank you very much.
it's important.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Item number 9, principals report. Jill.
Okay, besides our exciting purchase of our vehicles for our students, and they were used throughout summer school. Kids had a great time. They went every day in them. I wanted to give you some of our summer school statistics. So we had 64 students attend. They earned 98 credits, each student averaging about 1.5 credits,
Good.
which is fabulous. Yeah.
Wow.
Students are required to attend summer school if they're behind at all for graduation. So
So summer school is only about 3 months,
it's
right?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
3 weeks.
Yep.
They get
Wow.
1.5 credits.
So
Yep.
it's happened.
Amazing.
Yep, it's done. Yep, today is the first day of non-summer school. So
Yay.
yes, we still have driver's ed. You guys know we have our driver's ed program, and it's still going,
Good.
and it'll go
Do they
also.
use the excursion or the expeditions?
No, dang it, they
Good.
should, but no, we have a little driver's ed car, a little Hyundai.
I
So
want to see them do parallel parking with the expedition.
amen. Amen. It might be a little scary. We had 100 graduates complete the math recompetency, which is, preparation for higher education.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. we've got some kind of exciting things happening in the building. We're trying to kind of refresh our building and give it a new look on the inside so it's not quite so sterile. And so we've got some exciting things happening there. We have some money that came from a state safety grant to upgrade this basically pieces of our building that our safety team has deemed unsafe. So we're going to be finalizing using that funding next summer. But it will.
Things are unsafe.
Well, if you see these blinds, all the classrooms have like blackout blinds that they put down during the day. We are going to be adding a vestibule to the entrance of the school in the lobby. So visitors have to, if you've been in an elementary school, you have to get buzzed in. We have the
Yes.
buzz-in system now, but it'll be a containment area for visitors and parents.
Lobby main office has always kind of been some parents will come in, and because like you don't walk directly into them, they don't know where to go, or so we're gonna try and
Sometimes they
fix that.
meander, so
Force them into the front.
Yeah.
And it also included our fence.
yep,
used
we
the-
fenced off the
I thought
perimeter.
You were thinking of it, when you say vestibule, I'm thinking of decontamination.
Oh.
Right. Which we
Right.
did talk about that during COVID times, but yeah, the state's kind of requiring something like that now. So, and lots of the newer schools have it. Definitely, yeah, most of the schools in the valley, I think, have it, and the ones that don't are getting it
When I
done.
did the Cache Valley Rendezvous every
Oh,
year
yeah.
in March,
Yeah.
we do that at the school. Every school, you show your ID.
Yep.
Some of them you have to.
And we have that
Okay.
process.
Yep.
We implemented that this last summer. So they do like it runs like a quick little
Bug in,
background
yep.
check with your license and prints a little badge that they wear. And so that was pretty awesome, pretty good. It was always fun when like the sheriffs would come in to speak in Tyson's class, and we'd make them do it, like see we're following.
See how they like
procedure.
No. Anyway, so that's just some things we're going to be doing. This summer, I think we're going to update our sign, our old sign out here with our new logo that our team and teachers have adopted. So there'll be
Good.
some good
Good.
changes and updates, I think, that will be good for
Is that
our
the new
community.
logo?
That is the new logo, yes. So
Nice.
instead of the fast forward sign, the old VCR, that's what the sign is out here. Lots of kids are like, we don't even know what that means. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, those are some things
Well,
that we
this-
have happening
This
and
is
keep your
much closer to the Phoenix,
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
That's good.
it's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So we have some exciting things going on. And then driver's ed has been a huge success for our kids.
I am so glad you have that.
Yes, it's been huge. So we'll have that going on the rest of the summer. The class is complete, but they will be driving for all summer. So
Good.
anyway,
Good.
Should board members have an ID badge or something like that when we come on site?
absolutely. We probably could get you those pretty easily, but
Okay,
we can do that. I'll put that on my to-do list.
Okay.
So, okay, that's all my update I've got.
well, I would like to add an item.
Okay.
Item number 10. I would like to say, I'm sorry I didn't make it to graduation.
It was a good one.
We made
And I think I should be chastised.
We're not gonna do that.
Um,
It was a good graduation.
We're just sorry you weren't there too.
I'm sorry I
Yeah.
wasn't.
I got a
And
lemon bar for you.
And
Oh, yeah?
We've asked Jill to not schedule graduation on Wednesday or Thursday next year.
Yes.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Do it on a
Tuesday. Okay,
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, that's good to
Thursday'd
know.
be great.
Okay.
I will tell you that even though I didn't make the fast forward graduation, I did make 6 others.
That
Oh,
was
you.
really good.
That's a lot.
I did 3 high schools in one day.
Oh my goodness.
So
All different times. All at the same place, probably.
no,
No?
2 at the Spectrum and
one
one
on the
on
football
the
field.
Logan High football field.
Wow.
So, and it's the same thing next year. So,
Wow.
Goodness.
so if you could stay away from the day that those 3 high schools
Okay.
do, that'd be nice. But
We'll look into it.
I'm really sad when I miss.
Yeah, we
We
missed
miss
it.
having you there.
Before they are next year, if I'm
Yeah.
remembering Logan's and the Cash's calendars, I think we're the week before again.
Yeah, I
So
think you were the week before even this
Yeah.
year. Yeah,
we started it. We
but
make
you're
our
fast
schedule at
forward.
that, so
Of
yeah.
course, you should be
So we
ahead.
don't come back after.
Yep. We plan our calendar so we don't come back after Memorial Day.
It was really
Kids
nice to
don't.
start summer school that
Yeah.
day. Have it go.
That's
so.
a good thought.
Mhm.
Well, congratulations.
Yep, we had great turnout. Lots of people. We're outgrowing our space.
Yes.
But we kind of decided as a faculty it's better that than being a drop in the bucket in the spectrum. So
Mhm.
And people did utilize the overflow this year. There
Yeah.
was about 60 people in there, which was
So-
it was good to have that space, but it was mostly like parents with little kids or
Are you
Yeah, we can have
anticipating having it there again next year?
I think so. Yeah. I
You
think
could
so.
do it on your football field.
Yes, we could.
be
That
similar
would
to the
be-
drive-through graduation we had all
Yeah,
those
Right
years
back
ago.
there,
That'd be
sitting on the grass.
chaos, but
That was an experience.
That was an experience. Anyway, that's my update. So
Well done.
Good.
Thank you all.
Good.
We finished the agenda, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
There we
I'm
go.
doing, I don't even know if
We-
we needed a
We
second
don't
to
even,
that, but.
we